Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Firstpost pole position. I have some very special guests here with me. Let me quickly introduce you to them. Mithila, Mehta and Kunal, Shah. Both of them F1 bloggers, and they also have their own podcast called The Inside Line. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Very excited.
Thank you. Happy to be back, and happy that Kunal is also with us this time.
It's my first time.
Yeah.
And I've seen you guys do a great job, so it's fun to be here.
Yeah, so it's great time because the 2017 season's just started. We've had the qualifying for the very first race in Australia. What are you expecting from the first season, this season?
I think it's going to be a Hamilton-dominated season. That's going to be probably the easiest world title to win, especially after seeing what we've seen in qualifying today.
Are we both saying that? Are we all saying that?
At the same time, Nikhil, I think it's going to be less of a Mercedes-dominated affair than last year. So last year it was just a Mercedes 1-2 across the board. And this year we've been seeing that Ferrari has a possible resurgence on the cards. Yeah. And the qualifying session that just happened, we have Vettel on P2.
Yeah.
I mean, yay, we finally have a battle to look forward to.
Yeah, and of course, Formula 1 fans are used to change all the time. There's something new happening every season. Maybe the rules, the ownership, the drivers, but this season is just a lot of
change.
Lot of things to prepare for most fans.
I think Formula 1 swears by change is the only constant.
Yeah.
I think this is probably the fourth regulation change in the last 10 years, which is very strange because the sport keeps trying to do different things and have a different image to itself. So the 2017 cars look really fast. They in fact have gone really quick. One of the statistics which had me puzzled was from the 1996 season, the cars have actually lapped almost 10 seconds faster today. So
which is massive.
That's massive.
Yeah. And obviously a lot to do with the aerodynamics and the tire changes and everything
and the cars look different this year.
Yeah.
So even visually for fans tuning in after last season, there is a lot that's changed. We have a pink car on the grid. Like, speaking of change, yeah, guys, the force in your car is pink.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of things that we wouldn't have imagined last season.
Although what's not confirmed yet, and hopefully will get confirmed tomorrow, is if these cars allow overtaking, because that essentially is what people tune into Formula 1 for.
Yeah.
And pre-season testing has shown that maybe it's not going to be as easy to overtake, but let's see how it goes.
Talking about all the changes, which is the one that excites you the most? Like, if you had to pick one that you're most happy about, or you're most happy to see this season, something.
It's a bit of a mixed bag, but I think it's good that the start procedure is more manual now. So the drivers are going to be doing the starts all by themselves, which could mean that the first few laps, in fact, the first 5 laps, as Max Verstappen says, could just have cars all over the place because somebody's nailed the start and somebody's got hammered at the start. So it's one of those.
Yeah, I think that'll give us a little bit of a more, varied results. Like
a mixed bag,
We've gotten so used to seeing people who've gotten the podium, to the pole position in qualifying. We see the same positions of them ending it at.
True.
So a little more, drama, maybe more intrigue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, for example, if you see Vettel's on P2 and we know he's a really quick starter. And we also know from pre-season testing days that Ferrari are good when it comes to the long, the long stints that they have. So let's just really pray that we finally have a Ferrari versus a Mercedes battle tomorrow.
With Max Verstappen in the frame, mixing things up just a little more.
So while we obviously discuss more about each team and the drivers and what's happening this season, if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. We'll take them right at the end of the episode. Coming back to as you mentioned, Ferrari versus Mercedes. What do you think about the Williams? Even the Williams cars look like they might just surprise people. Do you think that's awesome?
One Williams car is certainly surprising people.
I think the other Williams car, that of Lance Stroll, if it finishes the race, people will be surprised. So yeah, surprised on both cars.
Yeah, but let's be fair. These cars are really difficult to drive. They're far more physical. Lance Stroll is 18 years of age, and we've seen Max Verstappen come and really blow everyone off with his talent. And let's remember, there's only going to be one Max Verstappen. Although we'd like all 22 to be Max Verstappen, or rather 20 this year. But let's see how Williams go. I'm also very kicked to see how Haas goes, because Romain Grosjean has done a really good job in qualifying today as well. So I'm kicked to see where Haas will end up. And I think the midfield battle will be far tighter. And it's always good to have battles, and even if not at the sharp end of the grid, at the mid-segment of the grid.
Yeah, and mid-segment maybe I think I just get reminded of McLaren Honda.
I'm not sure they count as midfield anymore.
But their partnership sort of, their reclaimed partnership hasn't gone well at all for between McLaren and Honda. I think that's putting it very lightly.
Putting it lightly.
I'd want to know what Fernando Alonso thinks of their partnership on this very app. When he's retired, we'll bring him on and we'll tell him to do a tell-all.
Just let us know. Put it in the comments or something.
But two things in terms of McLaren Honda that Kunal and I have been endlessly speculating about. Firstly, will they actually see the season through with Honda? Is this partnership going to last till the end? And anyone's guess the way things are going. And the second thing is Fernando Alonso going to continue at McLaren?
Yeah.
And does he deserve to be in that team which can't even give him a car that sees him through? So two things definitely that McLaren Honda.
Yeah, and all of this cues into Valtteri Bottas because there is immense pressure on him. It's a one-season contract. Mercedes have been very vocal that he'll get all of 4 races to prove himself. And if you see today's testing, or rather today's qualifying, he was 3/10 off, which few people are saying it's good, but I think I'm already missing Nico Rosberg, somewhere. And if Bottas doesn't perform in 2018, Mercedes' seat is up for grabs.
And interesting, Mithila, so Mercedes have already said that they'll be thinking about Bottas in 4 races, putting a judgment to him. And, the contracts are going to be negotiated as early as, say, May, in Monaco. So he has no time at all to prove himself. There is just so much pressure. And there are going to be so many drivers coming like sharks for that particular seat. I can already think of a certain Mr. Alonso.
Yeah, we did, sort of speculate that maybe Alonso should have, that whole chain of events should have happened.
Absolutely.
Where he should
I don't
have
know why the new owners couldn't get Alonso in that seat, because eventually it's the overall product of Formula 1. And just a quick one on Valtteri Bottas. So pressure on him is going to be from multiple counts. Firstly, of course, from himself. He wants to prove he is also a flying Finn, and Finnish drivers we know are supposed to be good, except for maybe Heikki Kovalainen. There's going to be pressure from Mercedes because Toto Wolff, I'm sure, has done some jigging to make sure he gets the seat there, and pressure from Formula 1 overall, because if Mercedes dominate and if this is Hamilton's easiest World Championship win, then suddenly it puts a question mark on his talent and on the sport anyway getting boring as well.
I'm just going to add on there. I think this could be, Lewis Hamilton at his most aggressive best, because, he's coming back, he's not the champion. He's coming back after being beaten. And, he has a lot to prove suddenly. And unfortunately, I think he's just going to raise the bar even higher if he can. And, this all makes Valtteri Bottas in a very dicey situation.
I almost feel really bad for him.
Feel bad for him.
Poor chap. And I mean, personally,
I feel good for him. He's got a Mercedes car. Come on, go out and claim your wins. I mean, that's what you'd want as a racer. You'd want to be in the quickest cockpit. Ask Fernando Alonso.
And you mentioned ownership, but this is the first season under the Liberty Media, completely under Liberty Media. How much of a role do you think that's going to play in how the season pans out and how fans see the season?
I don't think it's going to be immediate from a season point of view, but the next 3 or 5 seasons is going to be good. Ross Brawn is a wonderful person. He's won 8 world championships himself. And, we've already seen positive changes. So they've relaxed a few rules in the paddock, and they want to bring back more European races. They're talking of reducing costs and equitable distribution of income towards teams. So it's going to be a positive movement forward, I hope.
They're making all the right noises. And crucially, the whole relaxation of social media on Formula 1, it's really great for us fans. Because while we're not at the races, it just brings us closer to the sport and let us experience it better.
And I kind of also feel that Formula 1 was sort of lacking in terms of how it's the product given to fans.
Sure.
Because you've seen, all other sports sort of leave it behind in terms of what they put out, the content, the interaction.
Absolutely.
And it's so great to see that, Formula 1's finally stepping up. And, that's great for us, because better experience for the fans. That's what you want.
Eventually, that's what we want, because the fans are the guys paying the money to watch the sport.
In fact, that's what Liberty Media said, that they're looking at the complete package, the complete experience. So I think it's going to be upwards every season from now.
Yeah. And obviously the Jack in the Box, I'm coming back to Max Verstappen, because he's proven that he deserves to be talked about, and quite a lot. But what do you think at Red Bull? Are we going to see a rivalry that could be emerging there, or?
We better see a rivalry. I'll put it like that.
I think there's already a rivalry. It's unspoken of, because they're not really fighting at the sharp end as much as they'd like to. And although if you were to see today, Ricciardo's crashed and then Verstappen qualified P5, but the Red Bulls seem a little too slow than for everyone's liking. So I'm hoping that changes first. And a Verstappen Ricciardo battle will be absolutely awesome to hope for.
And honestly, last season, even when, against all odds, Max Verstappen was able to prove himself as the superstar of the season, even though he wasn't the world champion. And, this season, when overtaking could be difficult, the one person who we're all going to be looking out for is Max Verstappen. To hopefully teach the other drivers a thing or two about how to
And
overtake.
his popularity is already, risen, because first they went and banned the Max Verstappen defensive rule. Now they've gone and unbanned it. And if you read up about this, so a large part of the 2017 regulations were changed and the cars were made tougher to drive, just because they saw a 17-year-old Max Verstappen sit in the cockpit and go really quick. So they said, listen, if a 17-year-old can go quick, is Formula 1 really simple? And so can you imagine, he's already causing all those impacts on the sport.
And they obviously want the cars to be more challenging.
Of course.
And we just have a question that's popped up that says, will this season bring back excitement into Formula 1? It's from Sunil, who's put this up. He's very curious to know. What's your take on that? Are we going to see more exciting races?
I had an exciting time in qualifying because I didn't know who'd get pole. There was Sebastian Vettel who was sandbagging all the way up until Q2. So I'm pretty excited. I don't think I've never been excited at a race. Probably post-race is when all the boredom comes in sometimes. But I'm pretty excited to see who's going to win. It could be, like we spoke, Hamilton's 4th, Vettel's 5th, Raikkonen's second, or Bottas's first.
And the fact is, because the regulations are new, we've seen in the past that whenever there's been a regulation change, the entire pecking order has been blown apart. So, that's something that hopefully will come true for this season as well.
When it's been blown apart, it's also the dominance has maybe shifted from one team to another team. It was Ferrari for a while.
Exactly. There were these phases.
So do you think that could shift, or Mercedes still have the best?
I think Mercedes still has the best package. Ferrari has tried extremely hard and they've spent a lot of money, hundreds and millions of dollars, as an ex-employee said. And let's really hope that there is a battle out there. And given that this is an aero-heavy era of Formula 1, I wouldn't rule out Adrian Newey's magic on the Red Bull Racing RB13 car as well.
You saw Sebastian Vettel checking that car out after qualifying. So he certainly thinks that they have an ace up their sleeve.
He's learned well from Michael Schumacher.
But because we're talking about what's going to happen, what's where we see the season going. Before we talk more about Australian Grand Prix, let's just make our predictions for 2017 season. Let's see what you guys have predicted. Like, who's ending on top? Let's just put them up all.
So
do we put them up together?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh my God! It's got Hamilton. All three of us have Vettel as well.
Yeah.
It's the same.
So Kunal, why don't you go? Just tell what are your
So
predictions?
Hamilton, I still believe he is going to be the man to beat. Like Mithila said, extremely aggressive, extremely talented, and he's in a Mercedes. I somehow am not too sure of Valtteri Bottas, and I really hope I'm proven wrong. And I am extremely sure of Sebastian Vettel, trying to make inroads out there, because he really needs to do that. And the characteristics of the 2017 car actually are helping Kimi Raikkonen as well. So we saw he was quickest in preseason testing. Not that it means much, but that's my prediction for the season. At least as of now.
So we'll hold you to it. We've got on camera, and we will come back to that maybe mid-season or end of season. Let's see how that goes. Mithila, go ahead, make yours.
So Hamilton and Vettel, of course, all eyes on these guys. Valtteri Bottas would be my prediction for P3, simply because, yes, he has an amazingly quick car. And I think he's in one of those places in his career where he could go either way. It's his make or break season, year, call it as you may, his make or break opportunity for that matter. And, even if he can't match Lewis Hamilton on pace, given the nature of Mercedes, their car, all of that, I think P3 is something that he could definitely manage.
Okay, so I'll just defend my picks also. I think I've just gone for a emotional favorite in Raikkonen too. I don't think Hamilton, anybody's, going against him. But okay, I am very impressed by what I saw Vettel and the car that they have. Bottas, I think I think the pressure is going to get to him at some point. I
We
think
shall see.
maybe by second or third race it could show, is what I am predicting, you know. But let's see, that's interesting. We'll obviously come back to these and see how we've done. But tomorrow's race, the first race.
And in fact, I'd love for our viewers also to
To
share their
share.
predictions, guys. We'd be eager to know what you all think.
Yeah. Let's see if you guys agree with them.
And you know, if you can't put McLaren in the predictions, do send us across your favorite McLaren jokes, because you know, increasingly every week when we do the Inside Line Formula 1 podcast, you know, it's 60% jokes on McLaren, although we really love Fernando Alonso, maybe not as much of McLaren, but you can send in your favorite McLaren jokes as well. We'll take those as predictions
Yeah.
from McLaren.
But okay, coming up to tomorrow's race, you know, more serious business that we saw how the qualifying went. You know, what are you guys thinking? Like, what's the first race looking like?
I think it's going to be a battle between Hamilton and Vettel, but Hamilton will probably have it a little easier, is my prediction. And the Toro Rossos will be in the points. They've done brilliantly well today. I expect even Haas's Romain Grosjean to score points. And I'll be disappointed if the Pink Force India, my former teammates, don't end up scoring points out there.
Yeah.
But one thing that qualifying has definitely shown us is that Force India is nowhere as much, you know, on the pace as they were last season.
Yeah.
And, you know, there obviously things will be more clear tomorrow, but fingers crossed, you know, that midfield battle is something that everyone's going to be watching with a lot of interest. And a lot of rookies also in that mix, you know, to just make it a little more interesting. So let's see where our next Max Verstappen comes from.
Because we already know where the next Pasta Maldonado has come from. So I'm really hoping that Lance Stroll doesn't crash. He needs to have a good race to make sure his confidence is high, because I'm sure he's pretty embarrassed with what's happened to him already.
Yeah.
You know, someone else I feel really bad about is Pascal Wehrlein.
Yeah.
So, like, I think like 2-3 months ago, he might have been dreaming that, you know, he'd get a Mercedes seat out of nowhere. And he's not even going to start the race tomorrow. That is just ultimately, you know, tragic for any driver.
Oh, and since we have touched Force India, you know, I know a lot of Indian fans watch it because of some Indian connection to Formula 1. What are you predicting for them? You know, we saw how well they did last season.
They had 2 podiums.
On a really good budget. I mean, I think, you know, they managed the resources really well.
I think Force India has had a fantastic start commercially. They have had more sponsors and partners on that car than they've ever had.
Yeah.
And I think they will be 5th or 6th on the championship position standings tomorrow. Sergio Perez has always been a good point scorer. He's been a strong racer. I'm excited to see how Esteban Ocon also delivers and, you know, lives up to the potential that he's had in the preseason as well.
Yeah, it's his first full season as well.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, pressure on him too, I'm assuming. But Rookie of the Year, are you putting your bets in there?
Wow.
I'd still say Max Verstappen.
Yeah, you know, I think Max Verstappen, what he's done last season, is going to have that halo for the next like 5 seasons or something. Like, whoa.
Indeed. Any wacky predictions or anything else you want to say for tomorrow's race? Anything that you guys are really looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Fernando Alonso's jokes, because we've seen that when McLaren aren't really quick, Alonso's tongue starts wobbling, and that's a good thing. I say it in a good way, because we absolutely love his humorous side. And I don't know if Nicole Kidman is going to make Kimi Räikkönen say boah again, but that could be a possibility tomorrow.
He agrees to speak to her. The one thing I was really looking forward to was the possibility of Daniel Ricciardo on the podium. You know, though it was a bit of a long shot, but I was really excited to see how he would celebrate on the podium. You know, home race and, you know, new party trick for the season since the shoey is so outdated now.
By the way, they have a shoey bar in the fan park in Australia.
Wow.
So
Very cool. but yeah, like, so
it's
now
a legacy that he's left, I think.
Absolutely.
It's become a tradition, like, almost. So, well, good to see that. So we're looking forward to the race tomorrow. We're hoping, you know, it's a cracker of a start to this 2017 season, and we'll be back after the race discussing everything that's happened. Thank you, Mithila. Thank you, Kunal.
Thank you for having me as well.
The first episode with both of you.
it's a full house.
Yes. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll be back after the race to discuss everything that happens in the first race of the 2017 season at the Australian Grand Prix. Thank you.